If you are on a fixed hybrid strategy out of your corporation for compensation that includes a mix of salary and dividends in fixed amounts, like 50-50, or paying salary up to the RSP room limit and then switching to dividends, you might have an outdated planning strategy for compensation. Now, here's why. There's three main levers to look at. There's CPP, which you have to pay salary to get, and to avoid CPP, you have to only pay dividends. There's integration tax, the idea that if you flow your money through your corporation and pay it out as a salary, or you flow it through, pay tax in the corporation, and then pay dividends and pay tax, the amount of tax in both situations is really close. And in most provinces, you pay a little bit more tax with the dividend approach. And then finally, notional accounts, RDTOH and CDA as an example. And clearing out those notional accounts because that's pretty important from a tax optimization standpoint. So if we look at those three levers, a salary approach, which you would do if you want to pay into CPP, means that you have to start with salary and pay a certain amount. But we just covered that integration is slightly tax inefficient in most provinces. You pay a little bit more tax if you go the dividend route. So there is no logic there to paying salary and then flipping partway through to start paying dividends and paying a little bit more tax. Now, if you don't like CPP, then it makes sense to pay all dividends. But again, you wouldn't really flip back into salary and then start paying into CPP. So you would have to be on a permanent forever dividend strategy to avoid CPP. Now, the only time a hybrid approach really works is when you have notional accounts that you're trying to flush out. Say you've got a certain amount of refundable dividend tax on hand credit that you need to clear out of the corporation, or CDA that you need to clear out. And in those cases, if you want CPP still, or you want the RSP room, then you have to pay the dividend amount needed to clear out the notional accounts and then go back to paying yourself salary. But that dividend amount is going to change year over year based on how much in dividends your passive assets have received. And so in that context, the only time a variable or a hybrid strategy applies is paying out the dividends to clear out the notional accounts, but that's variable. It's not a fixed 50-50 or pay salary to a certain amount. It's pay a certain amount of dividends and then go back to salary. And so if your strategy right now for compensation is a fixed hybrid approach, you might have a bit of an outdated compensation strategy, and it's worth sitting down with your accountant and or your advisor and planner to redo those calculations and figure out what makes sense for you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Chat soon.